Hello and hi to all. My name is Muhammad Shazwan bin Zainal. I'm a special education lecturer in Faculty of Education, University of Kebangsaan Malaysia. So today I will share with you about the career readiness among people with disabilities to survive in the working world. So why it's important? Because there's a various issues that have been faced by people with disabilities when entering the world of work. Although people with disabilities have been given or has been equipped with skills in skills training centers, such as in schools or in related institutions, but employment problems or job retention in the group of people with disabilities are still an issue until today. So we cannot deny the initiative provided by the government, such as through package Penjana that have provided employment opportunities to all Malaysian, including people with disabilities. And then apart from that, we can also see the government's effort through the OKU Action Plan 2016 until 2022, which has put in place efforts and strategies to improve the economy among the people with disabilities in Malaysia. So, it is necessary for us to see the transition to a career where various aspects and things need to be seen. It's not only revolves about around providing employment opportunities or providing employment placement for the people with disabilities, but actually it's more than that. Uh, from the image that you can see right now, there are various aspects that need to be seen in providing employment uh, for the people with disabilities, including the recreational, housing, mobility, and also education. And of course, it will involve various agencies to ensure that efforts to locate and provide career opportunities to the disabled will give the most optimal effect. Even though there are many more things to look for in order to prepare people with disabilities to prepare for a career. So in this view right now, you can see how people with disabilities can work. But our main question today, how far people with disabilities is ready to work? In facing the world of work, the people with disabilities will face various problems and various obstacles. So in today's session, I will share with you a little bit on what the people with disabilities need to prepare before entering the realm of career. So there are 12 things, 12 aspects that I have shared with you, but maybe I will discuss on a little bit of, or maybe some of the points that I have shown right now. So the first one is about the grooming. Grooming is an important aspect of social skills development. Although social mistakes could easily to be overlooked because of the special abilities or extraordinary talents of people with disabilities, but poor grooming is frequently observed. So people with disabilities need to look at behavior modeling to educate about appropriate grooming skills. The second one is executive functioning. So executive functioning skills are commonly associated with planning and foresight, organizing, problem solving, completing tasks, and synthesize information, delaying, and also initiating activity. So these deficits affect people with disabilities' ability to grasp a problem and come up with feasible solutions. The third one is problem solving and decision making skills. So people with disabilities will be confronted with several critical life decisions with potentially serious consequences, including choosing a career. And then decision making and problem solving are abstract concepts and can be translated into more concrete symbols by using the decision making template, analysis, synthesize, evaluating, and also executive. Next is strength-based career. When we talk about problem-solving and decision-making skills, it also related to choose the specific jobs that are best suited for the strength of people with disabilities. These professions tend to be independent jobs that have opportunities for self-employment, such as computer repair, graphic arts design, and bookkeeping. So, for example, uh, this kind of job could be suitable for individuals with level 1 of autism spectrum disorder (ASD) who do not functioning well in closely supervised environment. So let's say accounting, engineering, library science, commercial art, and drafting are excellent also independent work possibilities and maybe better match for some students with high functioning of autism spectrum disorder. So because of that, this is role of our counselor. Counselor need to help students or people with disabilities to examine associated career options truly, while being aware that some careers appear to be a good fit on the surface but may not be in practice. Next is job interview. I think most of people or we can find it easily how to prepare for the job interview. So I will go to the next point. Is related to self-knowledge and self-advocacy. So deciding on the choice of career requires extensive understanding of the self and adequate occupational information. The more self-reflection the people with disabilities engage in, the easier it becomes to advocate on behalf of self. So self-knowledge is a prerequisite for self-advocacy, and it's essential for people with disabilities before they enter to the real job market or in the career. So people with disabilities with self-knowledge will help them to articulate the contribution they can make in a career, including how they can benefit prospective employers. So self-advocacy and self-determination are critical skills for people with disabilities, both in and out of employment settings. So learning to be a good self-advocate in college and at work can provide successful outcomes for this population. Next is time management. I think we know, or maybe we need to know how important about the time management. Next is stress management. The stress management is skill to manage stress appropriately while adjusting to a new work environment, as important as the technical and social skills necessary to perform optimally at work. So interventions including regular exercise, listening to relaxation music, um, visualizing peaceful settings such as the beach or waterfalls, and using cognitive reframing have been shown to be helpful when used for people with disabilities in stress management. So besides that, people with disabilities suggested to find appropriate outlets for stress, such as scheduling downtime and maintaining healthy eating and also sleeping time. Next is job roles and work content. So how it works, people with disabilities usually facing with dissatisfaction with job roles and work tasks such as boring, repetitive or unfulfilling work. And then besides that, people with disabilities have the poor work conditions such as physical environment, location, hours of work, and then maybe some of people with disabilities also face with a problem in opportunity to apply and develop knowledge, skills, and interests, and maybe sometimes sense of being accepted and value are quite low. So this is things that maybe will contribute to the enjoyment of the enjoyment of work. So these are things that also need to be looked into for the people with disabilities before they enter to the realm of the career. So there is a lot things on the such as performance and development issues. I think is quite similar with the job roles and work content, and also about the pays and condition and about the wage for the people with disabilities are working. All right. So I think that's all for the aspects that I want to share a little bit. What the things that are the what the aspects that people with disabilities need to look into. There are some, and there are many more actually. So maybe in the next program, or maybe the next for IC 2021, maybe I can share more related on these things. But now I want to share with you is about how people with disabilities can be prepared to work. Alright, so a framework that was introduced by Kohler and partners in 2016 has introduced a taxonomy for transition in program to point of the model for planning, organizing, and evaluating transition education service and program for the students with disabilities. Actually, this is model is using for the students with disabilities starting from the school because of we understand that career transition is need to start earlier before they are in the schools, maybe in the secondary school, so that from this plan or career transition plan that can plan what are next after they have finished their schools. So based on the model that has been introduced by Kohler stated 5 key indicators in ensuring and providing career transition to students with disabilities. So 5 indicators stated by Kohler is the first one is the individual focused planning. Second is individual development. The third one is interagency collaboration. Next is program structure, and the last one is family involvement. I will uh, I will discuss a little bit for the each indicators. So for your information, the taxonomy for transitioning program 2.0 actually is based on effective practices that have the goal of improving post-school outcomes and transition for students with disabilities. Um, each of these indicators has its own rules, and the career transition program is complex. So the career transition program proposed by College is prolonged and not in the short term cannot be seen a positive effect for the people with disabilities. So the first one is on the student focused planning practices that use assessment information, student self-determination, and student post-secondary goals to develop individual education plans. So these transition activities can fit within the following three areas. The first one is independent living. The second one is employment. The third one is post-secondary education. Next is student development, which is practice that emphasize life, employment, and occupational skill development via school-based and work-based learning, in addition to student assessment and accommodation. The third one is interagency collaboration. Interagency collaboration practices that facilitate involvement of community business, organizations, and agency in transition education, including interagency agreements that articulate roles and then a responsibility, communication, and other strategies to foster collaboration and enhance curriculum and program development. Next is a program structure. Program structure practice that relate to efficient and effectively delivery of transition-focused education and service, including philosophy, planning, policy, evaluation, human resource development, and also the structures and attribute of schools. And the last one is family involvement. Family involvement practices that increase the ability of family members to work effectively with educators and service providers in planning and delivering education and transition service. So from these 5 indicators that I've mentioned earlier, that we can see to prepare for the career transition planning for each individual with people with disabilities is very complex and very extensive. So all the organization, all the stakeholders need to do their roles to helping for people with disabilities to get a job and maintaining their job. So as a conclusion, to ensure that people with disabilities can get job and retain their jobs need a cooperation from various parties. It is to ensure that these people get a good quality of life and in turn contribute to the prosperity of the country. With that, thank you. See you again.